Thank you, is that working? Thank you very much. May I just start by saying how lucky we are to have an MP who is obviously one of the stars of this government, and thank you for being here. Thank you. I hope I'm going to give you an opportunity to become even more of a star with my question. It concerns something that, as you know, I've been long troubled about, and that is the matter of nuclear weapons and nuclear disarmament. There was a time when Canada was a very strong voice on this matter. And we're now in a situation where, well, there are three categories of weapons that are considered weapons of mass destruction. This is just back: biological, chemical, and nuclear. And biological weapons have been banned by international agreement since 1975. Chemical weapons have been banned by international agreement since 1997. But for the last 20 years, nuclear weapons were the only weapons of mass destruction that had not been banned by international agreement. But shortly after this government was elected, the UN launched a process to negotiate a treaty that would do that. And this treaty was finalized early this summer. It's called the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. It is available for signing at the UN. It has been since the 20th of September. The Prime Minister was actually at UN headquarters in New York the day open for signing and did not sign it. Canada opposed the process from the beginning, boycotted the negotiations, and now a campaign, an international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons, has just been awarded a few weeks ago the Nobel Peace Prize. And that campaign has chosen a Canadian, a Japanese Canadian, Setsuko Thurlow by name, to go to Oslo to receive the Peace Prize on behalf of the campaign, because she worked and for her work towards this treaty. It would be rather nice, I think, if she were saved the chagrin of going to receive the Nobel Peace Prize for her work on this treaty, or to promote the treaty, that her government has not even signed. And so I hope that it will be possible to sign it before she is put in that position. Now, the reason the government usually has given for opposing the process is because the countries that have nuclear weapons don't want them banned. And a friend of mine pointed out that's like saying slavery couldn't have been abolished unless the slave owners were willing to give up owning slaves. It makes no sense.
So you bring up a very important issue, and I want to say from the beginning that we are committed to nuclear disarmament. Don't assume that because we did not sign this prohibition that we are in favor of nuclear arms. We are not. Canada made a decision a long time ago, as you know, not to develop nuclear arms, and that was the right thing to do. But you also pointed out that none of the countries that have nuclear weapons have signed on to this. So we have always felt in Canada that what we need to do to make a positive contribution, it's what shaped our foreign policy over a whole number of subjects, is to do something that is achievable. And that is why, and I know you're very familiar with it, we have championed the approach of trying to limit the development, further development of fissile material. In other words, we are trying to get all countries to agree not to develop any more the material with which nuclear weapons are made, so that there's at least a ceiling there. And there appears to be a willingness of countries with nuclear weapons to join that. So we think this is a positive development, and it's a first... I know, but it's a start. It's a start. It's the art of the possible, if you like, and it's a pragmatic approach. which I think if we can hope for sanity, that will lead to further steps in the right direction.
This treaty will put nuclear weapons on the same legal footing as biological and chemical weapons. It is the right thing to do.
So that's our position.
Okay, there's about 10 minutes left, so 3-4 questions and that's it.
Okay. Good evening.
I don't know by which title I should call you.
Call me Mark.
I have so many achievements. My name is Dr. C.G. Nagy. The English converted it to George, and the French added an S to it. I'm just coming out of 28 years of more than full-time emergency, so unfortunately I'm not at par as to what society has been doing. It's only in the past 18 months that I've been sort of coming out of woods. What is worrying me is the fact that the Premier and the government, by 2018, 2019, wish to introduce either cap and trade or carbon tax. Okay? My worry is the impact that will have on the general population of Canada. Just very briefly, I Googled the cost of...
Can't hear you.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I Googled very quickly the cost of 1,000 watts of electricity for an average household for 1 month across Canada and across the world. Quebec, it only costs $83. It varies across the country. Highest is in Toronto at $201. The highest in the world.
Can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. In the world,
Keep it closer.
it's just I don't want my beard to start tickling it. The highest in the world is Denmark and Germany.
Yeah.
And Germany has 150 coal plants, whereas Canada only has 10 or 12.
Yes.
My big worry is that is the government going to rush into something that is going to sink us the same way that Australia is having power outages because of the mix that they have to do?
I think that this country has bought in, the majority of Canadians have bought into the notion that we must take our share of responsibility in reducing global greenhouse gases. We produce in Canada about 2% of the world's greenhouse gases. And so, yes, there's a price to pay for that. Fortunately, 80% of the electricity in this country is generated from clean sources, hydro, some nuclear. And yes, you pointed out there are still some coal-fired plants, but those will be gone in the next decade or two because of the commitment by the provinces, and this is based on what we call the Pan-Canadian program, which requires every province to meet certain targets in the way that they choose to make it. I think that in Quebec, yes, electricity is cheaper than in other places, partly because we have it, partly because it's subsidized. But no matter what, each province has targets. Some of them have chosen to do cap and trade. Others have a form of a carbon tax. We wanted to respect each province's freedom to decide how they would do it, and we said that the money that was levied from it had to stay within the province. So we're not bringing it to Ottawa to use it in the federal government. We think this is a good approach. We feel that we need to, and our target is 30% less than the 2005 level by 2030. And to achieve that level, yes, we need to change our way of life, and we need to recognize that there is a price for carbon, and I don't think that it will put us significantly at a disadvantage. That's my feeling. Thank you.
Merci. Je suis réellement membre du Conseil jeunesse. C'est un honneur d'être membre de ce Conseil déjà pour pouvoir porter des propositions. Et ma question est liée à l'Arctique,
Oui.
au nord du Canada, l'archipel canadien qui est actuellement convoité par le Danemark, la Russie et puis les États-Unis qui sont loin mais qui réclament quand même une part. Le gouvernement fédéral n'a pas été très tonnant en termes de tonalité sur cette question. Et qu'est-ce que actuellement, qu'est-ce qui va être proposé pour reconquérir cette partie de l'Arctique, vu que les Russes ont déjà commencé à envoyer des sous-marins nautiques? Donc, qu'est-ce que le gouvernement fédéral va faire pour reconquérir la partie de l'Arctique?
En fait, c'est une très bonne question. L'Arctique fait partie du Canada et j'étais là moi-même cet été. J'étais à Cambridge Bay et pour annoncer des programmes qui sont axés sur la question de la protection des océans, dans ce cas-ci l'océan Arctique. Nous avons des communautés qui vivent là. L'écosystème est extrêmement fragile, mais on voit de plus en plus de navires qui passent à travers le nord du Canada. C'est une nouvelle option en vue du changement climatique et ça peut changer la vie des communautés autochtones inuites qui vivent dans ce coin-là de notre pays, une partie magnifique de notre pays. Sur la question de la souveraineté, comme vous l'avez dit, il y a certains autres pays qui disent que bon, ça fait partie de notre pays, les Russes, les Américains dans certaines parties, et le Danemark. Tout ça va être réglé éventuellement par une cour internationale. Et ça va être basé sur la géographie en dessous de l'eau, des plateaux qui s'étendent à partir de la masse du territoire. Et ça va être basé sur cela plutôt que d'autres choses pour éventuellement décider à qui appartiennent les différentes parties de l'Arctique. Alors, s'il y a un plateau sous-marin qui est une extension de la terre canadienne qui s'avance, nous avons un cas très fort pour dire que ça fait partie du Canada. Et s'il n'y en a pas, et si ça vient de la Russie ou de l'Alaska ou du Groenland, alors eux, à ce moment-là, peuvent présenter l'argument que c'est vraiment une extension de leur pays et que ça leur appartient. Mais ça va être réglé éventuellement par une cour internationale. Entre-temps, c'est important qu'on s'occupe